Let me ask you a question. Where does your money actually go? It seems simple, right? But the answer, well, it's not really about budgets or spreadsheets. Today, we're going to look at a really powerful, kind of different way to think about every single dollar you spend. A way that turns simple transactions into something, well, something much more meaningful.
You know the feeling. We all do. The paycheck hits your account, you pay some bills, you buy a few things here and there, and then, all of a sudden, poof, you're left wondering, wait, where did it all go? It honestly feels like it just vanishes into thin air.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Money often comes and goes quickly. It's that feeling of cash just flowing through our hands, almost too fast to even keep track. But here's the thing. The real question isn't just where it goes. It's about what it leaves behind in its wake.
And that's usually the culprit, right? It's all the small, almost thoughtless spending. You know, the daily coffee, that thing that pops up in your feed and you just have to have it. That little impulse buy for a quick hit of happiness. It all adds up for sure, but what are you left with at the end of the day?
Okay, and this is where the perspective shift happens. The whole idea is incredibly simple, but it is profound. After the money's gone, it leaves behind one of two things. That's it. It becomes a story, or it becomes a regret. So let's really dig into that. What's left behind? What's the real difference between a story and a regret? Well, it all comes down to the feeling, you know? The value that sticks around long after the purchase is a distant memory. It's like this. On one side, you've got stories. This is spending that's rooted in making memories, in genuine emotion, in things that actually mean something to you. And on the other side, you've got regrets. These are the purchases you make in a hurry, or because you feel pressured, or maybe worst of all, because you're stuck in that trap of comparing yourself to what everyone else has.
So a story expense, this is something that genuinely adds to the richness of your life. I mean, think about a family vacation you still talk about years later, right? Or maybe that one special dinner where you all laughed so hard you cried. It could even be a book that completely rocked your world. See, these aren't just things you buy. They're investments in your life story.
And then yeah, there's the other side of the coin, the regret expense. And look, we have all been there. It's the clothes you bought on a whim that are still hanging in the closet with the tags on, or that trendy new gadget you used maybe once and now it's just collecting dust in a drawer. These are the things we buy because of a feeling in the moment, not because they offer any real long-term value. Okay, so we get the difference between a story and a regret. That's the easy part. The big question is, how do we actively choose more stories? Well, luckily, there's a pretty simple framework we can use. It's really just 4 simple but super powerful steps. First, and this is maybe the hardest one, just pause. Take a beat to think before you hit buy. Second, look for the long-term value, not just that instant gratification. Third, get the people you love involved. Make your financial goals a team sport. And finally, number 4, try to turn the act of spending itself into a shared experience.
And really, if you remember nothing else, remember this. It all boils down to one incredibly powerful question you can ask yourself before you buy anything. Will I remember this a year from now? If the answer is a clear no, it's probably a regret waiting to happen. But if it's a big, resounding yes, then you're probably investing in a future story. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through a couple of examples that really get to the heart of the philosophy, which is all about choosing moments over objects.
Okay, let's think about a super common purchase. You're out shopping, you see a nice little decorative thing for your house. It looks cool, it's on trend, but let's be honest, it's probably just another thing that's going to sit there and collect dust.
Now, what if you took that exact same amount of money and instead you invested it in a weekend away in nature with your family? The memories you'd make, the laughter, the exploring, that feeling of connection, that stuff is going to last so much longer than the novelty of some new object. Now that is a story.
All right, here's another classic. You're busy, you're exhausted, and grabbing some fast food on the way home is just the easy button. It solves the immediate problem of hunger, sure, but it's completely forgettable. It's a purchase made out of haste, plain and simple.
So what's the alternative? Well, you could use that money to buy some nice ingredients, put on some music, and actually cook a meal together. You can turn a basic necessity, eating, into a shared experience, a moment where you actually connect. You're literally creating a small, everyday story. And this is really the whole principle in action. It's about making a conscious choice to collect moments, not just more things. It's about prioritizing shared experiences so you can build a life that's rich in memories, not just full of possessions. At the end of the day, it's about choosing connection over clutter.
Which brings us to this really cool, empowering idea. Every single time you spend money, you're not just making a transaction. You are literally writing a sentence in the story of your life. And you know the best part? You're the author. You hold the pen.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Money is not just numbers, but stories or regrets. It completely reframes our relationship with money. We stop seeing it as just an accounting task and start seeing it as a creative one. Every financial choice you make has an emotional outcome.
So just remember this. Every transaction is a choice. It's a choice to add a line about some fleeting desire, or a choice to add a line about a cherished memory. And little by little, sentence by sentence, these choices build the entire narrative of who you are and what you really value.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. I want you to think back to the last significant purchase you made. Was it something that still brings you joy to remember? Is it a beautiful story? Or, if you're being totally honest with yourself, is it a regret? The answer just might change how you make your very next purchase.